Welcome back. Jim Coyle here with you as always, and joined by our good friend Chris Denari, the voice of the Indiana Pacers. How are you? And Dutton. Don't forget about Dutton. How's Dutton?
Doing great. It's been a couple weeks since I've been with you. Last week we were in Louisville. Our oldest son got married on Saturday. Had just a great time. It was just
Where
a
did you
great
get married? Where did the reception take place?
Churchill Downs, up on the
Oh,
rooftop terrace. Was phenomenal. Was phenomenal.
I that is an awesome place. The last time I went to the Derby, I was there, sat next to Rick Pitino. I'll get back to that. But yeah, what a beautiful setting that had to be. I hope the weather was great.
Weather was great. It was fantastic. We had a great 4 or 5 days in Louisville. I had not spent much time in Louisville. We were out on Bardstown Road. Everything where we were downtown a little bit, but the hotel we stayed in was great. It's only 6 months old. It's called the Bellwether Hotel.
Never heard of it.
It's got about 20 rooms. It's old. It's sort of like Bottle Works in downtown Indianapolis now. It's got brick walls. And
where is it located? Is it on Bardstown Road?
It's on Bardstown Road, just off Eastern Parkway. And so you've got bars and restaurants and all kinds of stuff down that road. But it was fantastic. Our son and his wife are now in Costa Rica for the week. And so her parents down in Louisville have one of the dogs, and we have Dutton, which he's an 80-pound, almost a year old German short-haired pointer. So he has enjoyed running around the backyard, and we've had a good week.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so what's a German? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I recognized the dog breed once I looked it up. But I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that they would average sizes on these dogs for a male. Is it a male or female?
Male.
The average size is 55 to 70 pounds. So puppy is a little fatty and needs to go on a diet.
No, he's big. He's not. If you saw him, and he's just sitting here next to me, he is skinny. And not skinny, but he's just big. I mean, he is a big dog.
Wow. That's amazing because he's already 10 pounds over the average.
Yeah, he's probably, I think my son said he's probably done growing. I mean, he's probably a year old.
You better hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, it's always fun to have the dogs on, man.
Yeah, so it's been good. And, a couple of weeks, the NBA draft will take place. Pacers have the 6th pick. They've been working players out. Trevion Williams was in yesterday. I think Colin Gillespie from Villanova was in. The thing that you're going to find is, I think Dutton, here's Dutton. Jim, here's Dutton.
Oh, hey!
Dutton has made his appearance.
There we go.
I think the thing you'll find is what the Pacers are looking at number 6. None of those are the kind of guys that are going to come in and work out. They will probably come to Indianapolis and meet with the front office, but they are not a group that is going to work out. If they do work out, they will be controlled by their agents and that type of thing. So what the Pacers are doing, since they have pick 31 and pick 58 in the second round, that's probably what you're going to see as far as the workouts are concerned. And we'll just have to wait and see next week. Rick Carlisle's been out. He was out in San Francisco for the NBA Finals, so he was not in town. I'm sure he'll be back, and then you'll start to even see more workouts take place over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I was in there over the weekend and gave a good workout. I don't know. I didn't get any feedback, but I'm still waiting on that, Chris.
Still waiting on that. How was your jump shot?
It's gotten shorter. The range is not there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've seen in this NBA Finals, we've seen some unbelievable range. I mean, Curry and Poole. Last night, Jason Tatum. Shooting the three really well. Last night, it's been interesting, Jim. The games, the scores, the end scores have not been all that close, though last night was much better because Golden State was down double figures and came back to take a lead in the third quarter. and then Boston just put their foot down and won Game 3. Game 4 will be critical for Golden State to try to even the series, because that would put Boston in the driver's seat up 3-1 if they win Game 4 tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's been fun and a little surprising. I was talking about this earlier. The Celtics up 2-1 in this series. One of those games they picked up on the road. Do they still have a home court advantage right now?
They have home court. Yeah, they have home.
Yeah.
They stole home court advantage by winning Game 1, and Golden State will try to get it back by winning Game 4 tomorrow. And oftentimes we have seen both Boston and Golden State win critical games on the road throughout these playoffs. So I would not be surprised to see Golden State, win tomorrow night. They got into, a big hole. They were down 15 points in the first quarter. And the fact that they came back and took the lead was pretty impressive. But sometimes you use all of your energy just to take that 2 or 3 point lead. And Boston was able to answer those runs late third quarter, early fourth.
It's going to be a fun one. They really love to stretch this thing out. I remember after Boston won the first game, a couple of days had gone by already, and I'm like, what's the series? Is it 1-1 now? And I look, I'm like, well, hell, they hadn't even played a second game. I'm like, my God, it's been 3 days.
Yeah.
So
what they'll do is the most that they'll have between games is 2, and then like between Game 3 and 4. It's just 1 game. Today's the off day. Tomorrow's Game 4. Then they'll head back west, and they'll have 2 days off. Game 5 will be Monday in San Francisco, and then they'll head all the way back. Dutton's trying to let his presence be known. But Jim, if you remember, think back to when the Pacers played back in 2000. It was 2-3-2, and they did that because of travel. It was the first 2 games at the higher seed sites, and then the next 3, and then 2. But they flipped that because they didn't think that was advantageous, I think, for either side. So even though you've got Boston and San Francisco on complete opposite ends of the coast, it still is a 2-2-1-1-1 format.
Looking forward to a fun summer. The NBA draft coming up. It's all speculation because we don't know, but it's kind of, we know who's going in the top 4 probably for certain. And then it gets, I shouldn't say nothing is for certain, but we've got a pretty good understanding, I think, of who's going to go in those first 4 spots.
I think so. I do think so. Unless somebody in one of those, not 1 or 2, but maybe 3 or 4, makes a surprise move, with do they take somebody that is a little bit off the beaten path? There's a couple of G League Ignite players that, a lot of people don't know about because they didn't play college basketball, that could move their way near the top of the draft. But I think you're right. It appears that the 3 bigs are the first 3 that would go out of the draft. And that would be Smith, Banchero, and Holmgren. You would think those 3. And then I think there are a lot of eyes on Jaden Ivey at 4. And then you have Shaedon Sharpe. You have Murray. I think Johnny Davis is probably more in the 7 through 10 category. Mathurin from Arizona. Those are sort of the names that you think about in that 1 through 8, 1 through 9. But Jim, there's always a surprise. There's always a team that likes somebody that maybe the other teams don't have on their radar. And then, will there be some trades? Will some teams that have a single digit pick either move back, move up, use it to get a veteran? It's all determined by where you are in your franchise. A team like Sacramento, who has not made the playoffs for 16 consecutive years, they're almost desperate, even with the 4th pick, to make something happen for their fan base because they've not been in the playoffs in 16 years. So, do they keep that pick? Do they move that pick? those are things that we just don't know.
Yep, we certainly don't. What's coming up next for you?
Well, I am going to join Pat Boylan as the analyst tomorrow night on the Fever telecast, the first of the year on Valley Sports Indiana. I did that a year ago where I filled in. And so I will not be the play-by-play person. That's Pat Boylan, who is the voice of the Fever. But for 17 years, I was the voice of the Fever on both radio and television. So we're going to have a sort of back to the future night tomorrow night.
That's awesome.
I'm going to join Pat at Indiana Farmers Coliseum. It'll be the Fever and the New York Liberty. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. A couple of weeks ago, I was able to do the public address and MC the ceremony at halftime as the Fever honored the 10-year anniversary of the championship team back in 2012. So that was a lot of fun to see all those players that I had spent so much time with 10 years ago, and looking forward to tomorrow night as well.
Sounds like a fun time. I think I've told you my Coliseum story with the bull escaping when I was the media relations director for the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Extreme Bull division. They had a tour stop there at the Pepsi Coliseum. Did I tell you that?
Yeah. Hey, yeah. And by the way, I was moving because Dutton had grabbed something out of my office that I didn't want him to eat.
Yeah, it's probably something that you needed, very importantly, probably.
No, fortunately it's not, but I heard he's got like 4 bones here on the floor, but of course he picked something else that's not a bone.
Oh, why wouldn't he? That wouldn't be very fun or make it fun for you today. It's like he's worse than having a kid right now, isn't it?
Oh, there's no question. I have a 6-month-old grandson, and he doesn't, he just rolls around. This guy is everywhere.
For those of you that are listening on the radio on the Ref for 97.9 the Ref, you can't see. Chris is having to get up and literally go around, and he's chasing Dutton, who
chasing
is
an
80-pound German short hair, playful. Oh my gosh, that sounds like man. You're going to have a battle this weekend. You're going to be wrestling. It's going to be a WWE weekend for you.
I think so, because this guy is pretty stubborn. There's no question about that.
Well, when I looked them up, one of the things it says, where did it go? Needs lots of physical activity.
Yeah. We're going to go out and throw the ball when we get off this interview. There's no question.
Yeah. You need to get one of those balls on a long bungee cord where you can just let it go, and he has to go get it, bring it back, or he can bring it himself. Well, brother, I'll let you go manage and have fun. You have a great weekend. Congratulations on the wedding. Glad that stuff's out of the way, and we'll have some fun next week. You have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
The great Chris Denari taking time to join us here on Indiana Sports Beat.